Now, we're all guilty of wasting our lunch breaks, either watching TV or scrolling endlessly through social media. But in fact, that hour you've got to go riding, you can cram a load of skills into, and you can take those skills that you learn to the trails at the weekend. Now, here's a few of my favorites. Now, stair sets are the perfect place to be working on those skills. When it comes to descending stairs, you can work on things such as your body position and your braking points. And when it comes to climbing them, you can think about things like cadence and also that body position when it comes to climbing. Now, each stair set is going to require a different approach, and you really need to start small with this one. Look at how steep the stair set is and the gap between each step. It's all going to make a difference as to your entry speed, your gear you're going to choose, and your approach. Now, here's a couple of skills. Right, let's talk technique for tackling these stairs then. Well, first up, you need to drop your saddle, get that out of the way, and you also need to be out of your saddle for the whole of this ride up the stairs. Next up, you need to come in with good momentum into these stairs. That's quite a steep bank, so think about the speed you're going to need to get to the top. And as you approach the bottom of the stairs, you lift up that front wheel, unweighting it, and place it on about the third step. Then as your rear wheel comes into contact with the stairs, that's when the bike is really going to want to stall. So you need to think about that and help the rear wheel get up there. Once you're in the stair set, it's all about maintaining that body position to help you get good grip and stop the front wheel lifting up. You want to focus on that top step and just keep the cadence high. That's the main thing about this. If you pedal to the top, you're going to get there super easy. Now, you can also flip those stairs around and have a load of fun working on those skills when it comes to descending them too. Let's take a look. Now, when it comes to descending stairs, you really want to tackle these at a speed you're going to feel comfortable with. Just bear in mind, if you come in too fast, there's a chance you might take off and go down those stairs really quickly. Or if you go too slow, you're going to lose your balance and be all over the place, especially as you drop in. So just a nice, comfortable pace that's going to give you good momentum down the stairs. Now, you need to think about braking as well. Do all your braking before you enter the stair set. If you do braking whilst you're in the stair set, again, it can cause loss of grip and a loss of control, and of course it's going to affect that body position. So try and get that dialed in before you enter the stair set. And then think about how you use your body to absorb this shock from the steps. Don't just rely on your bike suspension, use your knees and your elbows to absorb all of that shock. And then lastly, think about the transition from the steps to the flat. Now, that can be quite harsh, so just make sure you've got your weight in the right position as you enter the bottom of the stairs. You want to be behind, mid to behind the bike, ready for that impact. Moto Trials is all about balance and slow speed control, and you can mimic those very movements on your e-mountain bike. And out and about on the street, you can design a trials section. Now, this is all about linking features together, working on that slow speed control and the power delivery, and using all of those features to your advantage. Now, we've got a perfect scenario here. Got a slow speed slalom through these posts into it. Then I've got a hill climb going up the stairs, flip it around, then going to hop on the back wheel all the way down the steps. Now, this is a great way of learning all that slow speed balance and learning how to place those wheels in a certain spot. Is going to reap massive benefits next time you hit the trails. Lots of us have access to a slope or a bank, pretty similar to like this one in the background here. Now, how steep you make that bank is going to alter the skill level you're going to need to conquer it. The steeper you go, sometimes the easier the tricks can be, but I suggest starting off on something mellow like this one behind us. Loads of fun you can have. Let's take a look. Now, banks are the perfect place for dialing those basic skills such as the track stand. Now, for this one, we're going to switch down into eco mode because you're going to be stabbing at the cranks. If you're in turbo mode, the bike's going to lurch forward. Now, all we're going to do is roll up the bank, come to a stop, pull on the brakes and load the cranks. So you're pushing through the cranks at all times like you're trying to climb up the hill, and you're resting on the brakes And as you feel your balance going to one side or the other, you need to switch with your bars and try and catch it with your upper body. A few tips for this one is either focus on the floor, focus ahead, and just try and stay in tune with that bike's balance. Pushing forwards on the cranks, you can rock it. Or if you are struggling, you can actually wedge your front wheel up against the wall and try and do it that way. Now, rolling down the hill on one wheel looks super impressive and is a load of fun, but you definitely need to start small with this one. The stoppie can definitely cost you your front teeth if it does go wrong. Now for the stoppie, all you need to do is roll down the hill at a pace you're comfortable at. You don't want to be going super quick for this one or too slow because it simply won't happen. Then we just squash the suspension down, and as the suspension is rising, then you want to do a weight shift forward whilst pulling on the front brake. Just start by doing a little endo at first, so just lifting that rear wheel up a few inches at first, then progress on pulling that brake harder and getting the back wheel higher. And it's all about modulating that front brake whilst keeping your weight in the right position and traveling forward down the hill. As I mentioned, start small with this one and work your way up. A cool skill to get dialed in on the bank is going to be the fakie. It's not much use to you out on the trails, but it is a load of fun when you're out messing around on the streets. Now, gear selection is definitely crucial on this one. I suggest going to the mid-range of your cassette, because if you're at the extreme ends, either first or the hardest gear, you could risk jamming your chain or even worse, snapping your mech off. Now it's just worth getting it in gear and wheeling the bike backwards by hand first before you commit to doing the fakie. That way you know your mech's going to be safe. And to do the fakie, all we're going to do is come into the bank, pull a little endo, so onto the front wheel, pulling the front brake, shifting our weight forwards. Then we rock the bike backwards onto two wheels, then let our fingers off of the brakes and let the bike roll backwards. Now as the bike goes backwards, your cranks are going to want to go backwards too, so you just need to bear that in mind and pedal backwards. You can either look over your shoulder for this one or study forwards, you know, just see what works out for you. The idea is to roll backwards, then turn out of it as soon as you feel ready, turn those bars and ride away forwards with a big smile on your face. You don't actually need any features whatsoever to learn some of these skills on. In fact, an empty car park like this one is perfect for learning some slow speed maneuvers. Things such as the figure of 8 track, super simple. A couple of markers you can put on the floor, and the idea is that you go around these in a figure of 8 anti-clockwise and clockwise, nice and slow, and just work on those slow speed turns. Now if you're finding this too easy, you can decrease the distance between the two rocks and make those turns super tight. Now this is great for working on those tight turns when it comes to hitting the trails at the weekend. The manual is a skill that will help you out to no end on the trails. Now we've done loads of videos in detail on how to manual in the past, so be sure to check those out here on eMBN. But the car park is a great place to learn this one, as you can use the lines to measure your distances that you've travelled. For the manual, you need to ride along at a jogging pace. Get your weight forward on the forks, give them a quick squash and pull up on your handlebars. At the same time, chuck your weight backwards over the rear wheel axle, behind your saddle, and push through with your legs and pull back with your arms. Modulate that rear brake to stop you looping out. So don't go wasting your lunch break. There is a load of skills you can learn literally outside your front door. Let us know down in the comments box which one you want to learn or which one you can already do. Get involved, love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to eMBN and give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and check out the eMBN shop too. Cheers.